this recovery on the app, you can check us out, check out the hunt. Buck walks out at 3 minutes and 8 seconds of it. You know, it's just one of those nights where, you know, I almost didn't come out here because it was so hot today. It was like 91. And, you know, we made the executive decision to come out and do it solo. You know, I took a chance, the wind was right, so I figured, you know, we might as well. We've been seeing him on camera still. It's been, you know, kind of spotty. Sometimes he's been in the morning. Sometimes he's been in, you know, middle of the night. You know, just one of those things where, you know, I knew that sooner or later he was going to step out in daylight again. I had a chance at him 2 weeks ago and was jacking around too much with the camera gear, and I just rushed my shot and shot right underneath of him. You know, didn't really spook him. He didn't really know what happened. He ran 50, 100, walked into the woods. So, but tonight he stepped out again. You know, I had some does step out about 6:30 or so. I didn't really want to go live then. They didn't stick around too long. But does stepped out and then worked off. And then about 7, I don't know, maybe 7:30. I'm not 100% sure what time it was. It kind of happened pretty quick. I had a doe step out and then another doe. And then a little 7-point was with this guy. And we've been seeing a 7-point and this guy together all summer on trail camera. He's kind of got a jacked up main beam on his right side, and you know, just not a very attractive buck. And I just had that feeling because I could hear some more deer in the woods to the left of me, and I just had that feeling that he might be coming back with them. So, you know, we had everything kind of worked out perfect. I was able to send a push notification. We're working on recovering the sound. Not sure what happened, but you know, everything was good when you know, the push went out on my end, and apparently we had some technical difficulties, but we got it figured out. Like I said, it's the shot is right underneath this video on the app. So when we get done here, go check us out. But man, this was number one on the list this season. You know, we saw him. If it's the same buck, I think it is. We saw him 2 years ago, and then he disappeared on us after opening weekend. And then last year he showed back up late October, you know, right as they were getting ready to go pre-rut. He showed back up on camera and was a good deer then. I had a couple opportunities after I already tagged out with him, you know, once with a rifle, once with a bow, but obviously we didn't, you know, weren't going to go that route with him. And then we're fortunate he stuck around all winter and, you know, all summer. We have, you know, shoot, I bet you we got, you know, 500-600 trail camera pictures of him. And, you know, just one of those things. We're fortunate to get the opportunity at him. You know, fortunate to get multiple opportunities at him, I should say. You know, I haven't told a lot of people because it was so frustrating that I missed him 10 days ago today, actually. It was Thursday the 15th. You know, shot right underneath him, like I said. So, you know, fortunate that I got a second chance at him tonight and put a better shot on him. Had plenty of time, didn't rush it. You know, I don't know how well you can see this arrow, but it passed clean through him. He ran maybe 100 yards, 125, and you know, left us a good blood trail to follow. So we're fortunate for that. But man, what a night! It's been hot, 85 degrees. You know, just I don't know what it's probably 80 right now. You know, it's one of those things where we got to, you know, we got to get him field dressed and get some ice in him and get him hung and quartered at the house. So. I got a bunch of people going bananas here on my text messages. So let's see. Hopefully everything's streaming well. We should be in good shape here, guys. I don't know. Pushes went out. Give us a rundown again. So okay. So for everyone that's just tuning in, I know there's a lot of people that, you know, downloaded the app and are you know, checking in right now for the first time, but you know, it's kind of crazy. You know, it was hot today. Central Kentucky, it was like 91, I think. I got out here a little bit later than I wanted to because I debated on whether or not I'd even want to come hunt. You know, it was hot. I was solo. And, you know, wife went out of town this afternoon for a work trip, so I said, heck with it. I'm going to come out and, you know, at least sit and see what happens. But, you know, fortunately I did, obviously. So, had some does come in early before I was even ready to go live. I just figured, you know, they kind of caught me off guard. It was still hot. I just figured it wasn't worth it. And they pushed off. And then these got this, you know, the 2 does stepped out. and I was live at that point. And then, you know, like I said a minute ago, one of our, he's just a messed up little scrawny 7-pointer with a bad main beam. Text them, Mike. He's been hanging out with this guy all summer. You know, we had, like I said, 400 or 500 pictures of them together probably. You know, this guy was, it's just, it's, you know, end of September already, and they're still in kind of bachelor groups, but I had a spike, you know, 2 does, and, you know, this guy stepped out behind him, and we got the push notification sent out, and I had time to, you know, gather myself and make sure that I was, you know, focused and mentally ready, because like I said 2 weeks ago, I wasn't. You know, I just happened to look up. I was messing with the live stuff and messing with the camera gear, and I happened to look up and he was there, and then I was in hurry mode, and you know, I screwed up twice actually. This one and another one, which is embarrassing to say, but it happens, you know. And you know, both times I was rushed and not focused on what was going on. I had a lot of stuff going on with the camera stuff. But I was fortunate tonight that he stepped back out. You know, I don't know what time it was. What time did I call you? I don't know. 7:30ish.
Right about that.
Or about 7:30. You know, he stepped out and was totally oblivious that I was there. Everything was fine. And you know, I was able to focus this time and make a good shot. And he ran 100, 150 yards tops in the woods and left us a pretty good trail. I don't know that you can, how well you can see this entry wound here, but we had a clean pass through. My arrow's just, you know, soaked. You can see that clean shot, you know, pretty neat when you watch that go in a deer and come out the other side. So, you know, I don't know. I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to have had a second chance at this one, let alone a first chance. Way too regular and way too frequent in that set, you know, for us not to get another chance at him. And, you know, fortunately tonight was the night. So we, I don't know, we had, like I said, just, you know, it was a matter of us being there at the right time, and tonight was that right time for this one. So he's wanting to roll over on me here. This sucker weighs a ton. We got a 2x4 behind him here, or 4x4 rather, but oh man, this was the big one on the farm. You know, we called him Triple Brow. Obviously you can see, you know, he's got this eye guard there off of his right main beam and right brow tine. I don't know what he's going to score. He looked, he was a good deer. I'm not mad about him one bit, but you know, a nice 11 point. Mike had a chance at him last year, couldn't get him stopped during gun season. He was hot on the doe's trail and couldn't get him stopped. Somebody shot him in the foot. You know, I don't know who, so we're fortunate that, you know, he didn't go downhill any. But, you know, it's going to be hard to see in the dark here, but there's a definite bullet wound. His foot was swelled up, and, you know, he wasn't limping, which is weird. You'd think that, you know, deer gets shot in the foot with a high-powered rifle, that something would be messed up on him. Fortunate, you know, like I said, he was the biggest one on the camera. Yeah, you can show that. Mike's got the picture here of his foot being jacked up. You know, we weren't sure what it was. I didn't know if, you know, it was a birth defect or what, but we got a better look at it, obviously, right now, and it's a surefire bullet hole. So, but, you know, you'd think a high-powered rifle would have shattered his foot, but it didn't. So
there he is in velvet.
Yeah.
That's 3-4 weeks ago.
So, you know, I think this deer's at least a 5.5-year-old. He might be 6.5, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I know he's, you know, if it's the same deer, I think it is. We saw him 2 years ago, opening weekend in 2014. He stepped out at 80, the day after I killed my velvet buck. He stepped out at 80, and then he disappeared after that on us. And then last year he showed back up in mid-October. You know, right in that pre-rut phase, he showed back up and stuck around. And like I said earlier, you know, I had already tagged out, and I was doe hunting, and wouldn't you know, he steps out at 30 yards on me one morning, and you know, I was excited to see him then. I knew he was going to be a good deer, and I was hoping Mike would get a shot at him. And then during rifle season, he stepped out on me again at 120, and I had him dead to rights again. But obviously, you know, we're not gonna do that. And then Mike had a shot at him. You know, he was Mike saw him, I don't know, what was the second week of rifle season probably last year.
Yeah.
And, he was hot on the doe and couldn't get him stopped, and we wasn't confident enough and wasn't going to risk a running shot on a trophy deer like this. So, he stuck around, and we've been feeding him corn all summer. Big Time Minerals. The 30-06 stuff is just, it's like crack to these deer. It's crazy, 15 deer at a time in there eating this stuff, and turkeys and all kinds of stuff. So, it's good stuff. Highly recommend you guys getting a couple bags and seeing what it does for your deer herd and what it does for your trail camera sets, because it's outstanding stuff. Smells great. It's got all kinds of minerals and vitamins and good protein and whatnot.
It packs noticeable inches on these deer in velvet. I mean, you can look at trail camera pictures of deer and 2-3 weeks down the road and still see noticeable growth on them. Obviously they grow during velvet, but I mean the way they grow with that Big Time 30-06 and the Big Time Buck Brunch food plots that we have out, it's pretty unreal.
Yeah. So nephews Jacob and Jackson said awesome. So thanks fellas for watching. This lighted Nox pretty neat. It's clean shot, lighted Nox. It's pretty awesome watching this sucker go in a deer and come out the other side. I had no doubt when I looked back at the footage that I hit him good. So appreciate the Nox fellas. They're awesome. I got red and I got green, and I got some red accent on my bow, so I shot red this year. I shot green last year, so good stuff. But that, and like we said, the Big Time 30-06 is ridiculous. I can't tell you. We set it out, and 45 minutes later we had 10 deer in there on our trail cameras eating that stuff. So gave me a second shot. I really didn't expect to see anything worth a darn tonight. It was so hot. I was just sitting there sweating my bag off. Oops. Sweating my butt off. But it was hot. Yeah, I mean, it was like 90 degrees. This week it's supposed to cool down. So I thought maybe, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, maybe they'll be moving tonight, on the heels of this front. So, it's going to be down in the 70s. Tomorrow's a high and lows in the 50s, and it's freaking 85 degrees at 7:30 at night. So, but yeah. So if you guys are just tuning in, you can see the shot. You can see the whole hunt if you got the app. Just go right underneath this video, and it's the first one down after this. I got it 3 minutes, so I wasn't live very long. Because like I said, it was hot, and I just was like, well, I'll wait and see what happens. But it's one of those things where, unfortunate, now we got to get Mike one. Still been getting him in that set. We've had a lot of good deer in there. So now it's Mike's turn. The pressure's off me, thank God. Now I can, worry about filming and spending time with my pregnant wife. So we'll have a baby in February, and I'm gonna have to convince her to make room in the baby's room for some headgear. So I don't know. Beyond excited right now. It's just one of those things I didn't, like I said, I came out here and I was just like, man, it's too hot. Should have stayed at the house, blah, blah, blah. I should have been fishing today. Got after my boy Josh Kuiper for making the executive call yesterday to not donate money in our regional bass tournament, and which brought me home last night after 2 days of pre-fishing and not catching anything. So Josh, buddy, it worked out. See, everything happens for a reason. I hope you're watching right now and got to hear that, because I know that we made the right call by coming home, and this is, proof positive that that's the case. So, oh man, Drew, everybody, Corey, Chad, all my buddies, I appreciate the help, fellas. Appreciate the kind words, Lori and Josh, my family, thanks for all the support and text messages. Yeah, my wife, you'll get to see him tomorrow. He'll be in the freezer. So raise the camera up a little bit, Mike. I don't know what he's going to score. I mean, you guys can be the judge. I thought he'd be 160 in velvet. he came out in velvet and doesn't look as impressive, but I mean, he ain't getting a free pass. So, you know, I think he's at least a 4.5, probably a 5.5-year-old deer. You know, we just don't get many young deer that can put this kind of, you know, this kind of inches on. You know, we don't get them. So, but yeah, Bloodsport. You know, I don't know, Mike. You want to come show them? Who cares? You guys can see it. It's Bloodsport arrow. I'm shooting 350 grain arrow with the 100 grain rage tip or rage hypodermic in it. Flat out stroked him. You know, clean shot. I knew where it was going. You know, I knew right where I hit him right away. And I watched him run, you know, 100 yards. So fortunate, you know. Carbo mask. It's good stuff. I love face paint. A lot of guys don't like face paint. I hate face masks, so carbo mask is good stuff. You know, just blessed, man. Very fortunate to get an opportunity of a deer like this. For my third deer in the last 3 years. I'm tagged out in September, and it feels phenomenal. So now I get to worry about filming and duck hunting and filming deer and shooting does. Clay's been on me all freaking month about shooting does. I'm like, dude, no, they're gonna be here. I'm gonna get an opportunity to buck. I don't want to shoot a doe and monkey up my set. You know, it's too good of a time, and I knew that sooner or later we were gonna get a shot at him. And fortunately, tonight was that night, and I was there and was able to capitalize on the opportunity. So, yeah, good stuff. Now I can shoot does, Clay. Mike can shoot 50, you know, a big 8-point that has 9 lives. 50 Junior is a good deer. We got pictures of him the other day in the morning, you know, and unfortunately he was we haven't seen him on the hoof yet, but we got tons of pictures of him. You know, are going to be exciting to see and hopefully get a shot at him. So. I don't know, fellas. I'm pretty jacked. Now we got a ton of work to do. Now's when the fun stops and the work begins. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, this is what we do. You know, it's on the app. We send notifications so you're not watching, you know, an empty feed. Watch hours and hours and hours of nothing. So we've designed a system and send you a notification when something's going down, and that's kind of what happened tonight. So check it out. It's right underneath the is when he steps out, so it was short, like a whole lot. And then I figured if it was going to go down, it'd go down at dark. And you know, check these messages, fellas. Da 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 da. Triple brow tine. Pretty excited about it. You know, he's going to be on the wall next to his 2 buddies. You know, pretty pumped. Batteries. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, it's pretty sweet. Sorry, cool enough to do it. Happening. You got guys up there that are going to go bonkers. They got a ton of big deer. Clay's down in Florida doing his thing with, you know, trout and redfish and flat. You don't get to see every day, so check that out. It's worth the download. Watch hours of stupid stuff. You know, it's just when the action happens, we're letting you know. Tune in. It's worth your time. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Let me. Pretty exciting. If you guys want to come help me get this dude hung and quartered and field dressed, that'd be excellent. 205 Atwood Drive. Come find me. We'll be there in an hour. Alright, that's a wrap, guys. Download the app. End of story. Thanks, Clay. Sorry about the comment. Are you stopping it?
Yeah, we're
Alright. I gotta sit down behind it and we'll get some pictures.